Hello everyone, and welcome back to another day on the NardCraft server. Today I kind of have a mixed bag of stuff that I want to get done, and we're going to go over to the shopping district at spawn to get things started off with a little bit of... let's ignore that just happened. So I want to get started with a little prep for our shulker shell farm. In a previous episode, we brought this guy over here from the end, and that was a pain. I would like to avoid having to go through again. In order to do that, I'm going to make a few backup copies of him before I actually get the farm started. I did some testing in my creative world on the safest way to make these backups, and I'm going to move this guy a little bit away from this island here. And once again, I'm going to use rails, and we're going to get him probably 17 blocks away from the island and 17 blocks above the water, as 17 is the distance that they can teleport to. And I'm going to also make a 17 by 17 platform. This platform is going to have 2 layers on it, both made out of top slabs. This will prevent him from teleporting underneath of me and should make it easier to run around and try and get him to shoot himself with his own shulker bullets. I'm just doing this out of, cobblestone because, well, realistically, this thing will get completely torn down once the actual farm is built. And I need to leave probably a bit larger of a gap between the platforms than that. Maybe 1 more block high? Yeah, probably up there. Okay, cool. So these are done. Let's get the rails in place and start moving him up here. Just got to put some powered rails around him and then finish up going up the stairs to probably the center of the platform. And now we just gotta open it up here and put the powered rail there. A corner piece. Oh, this section over here is not powered. Let's power that. Gotta grab our minecart without getting hit by any of those shulker bullets, and off he goes. Okay, that seemed to actually work pretty smoothly. Okay, little buddy, we just got to get you blocked in so you're not shooting at me. If we can just get a block there. Got to get another one behind you and above you. Watch out. Glass there. Ow. This is why I wanted 2 layers, so when he hits me, I don't float away too far. And now he's all self-contained, and we can go and remove the staircase that we brought him up here with. Just want to get rid of these blocks. Don't care if I lose them, but want this gone so the shulker doesn't accidentally teleport over here. So somehow during that process, he actually already duplicated, and we now have another shulker on top on this top platform. So to get the shulker to duplicate, they actually have to hit themselves with their bullets, and that does damage to them. So we're actually going to use healing potions to make sure that they stay alive so we can keep duplicating them. And now I just got to run around, avoid the shulker bullets as much as possible, and hopefully try and get him to hit himself a few more times so you can see him taking damage there. So every once in a while, I will keep throwing my heal potions at him and like that. And hopefully we can get maybe 2, 3 backups of this guy. There are so many shulker bullets up here. Oh, we got one. Okay, we got a second one. I'm going to jump away real quick, try and get some of those shulker bullets to either despawn or hit something else. We'll throw this down, heal them up. I think I might have missed them. That was ridiculous. Oh, well, we're just going to block this guy in as our second backup. And then I think we'll try and get this last one to duplicate one more time. Throw some glass in front of this here. So there we go. I got him to duplicate one more time. And now I have a total of 3 backups and the main guy underneath. I think this should give me plenty to work with when making this farm. Now we're going to move on to something, well, completely different. I want to map out the main island of the server and a few of the surrounding smaller islands. And I would like to put it on display here in the shopping area. I think right over here outside the nether portal is probably the best spot for it. I just kind of need to do a little bit of terraforming to give myself some more room to build this like map wall thing. Keeping with a similar feel of the lampposts we have going on in this area, I want to continue using deep slate for this build. I would also like it to be a 3x3 map. So we're going to build it a little bit higher off the ground so I can have some room up here to work with. But I really have no idea what the appropriate size is going to need to be for this thing. And that also includes just what the general scale of the maps is going to be. But I think this is a good outline for where we're going to display them. Just want to put some lamps, I think. Not lamps, lanterns on either side of this thing just to light it up a little bit more. I have some. Here we go. There, and 2 on the other side here and here. Okay, so I have all of my item frames I need for this, and I used the glowing item frames so I don't have to illuminate the maps when they go up here. But now we just got to figure out what scale is appropriate. So this is, I guess, zoomed all the way in on the shopping district map. So let's try and scale this out a little bit and see what it looks like. Not duplicate it. Oh, I need paper for this. Okay, hold on. I got to get some paper. Okay, we got some paper to zoom this out. I think I have to do this one at a time. Yeah, okay, one at a time. So we'll zoom it out. One step. Maybe I go all the way and just see how small the actual shopping district looks once it's zoomed out all the way. And that's max. Okay, so let's take a look at this and see what we got here. Oh, that's tiny. I feel like that might be too tiny. So this right here is all 4 map sizes. I'm thinking the most zoomed out one is definitely way too small. Like, look at that. You can't even tell that that's an island right there. But this one I think might be the appropriate size. So let's get rid of these other ones and we'll start filling in the scale of this map right here. This is going to take a lot of rockets and a lot of flying around. But I guess we should just kind of get started with it. Yeah, so instead of completely filling them all in one at a time, I decided to just make a bunch and go around and see how they all connect with each other, just to kind of get an idea of where everything is. So that way I know that it's all going to work out in this whole area of the map wall here. And I think 3x3 is going to fit the whole island. I just got to figure out where those bottom 2 sections are. And another thing I want to do is actually place banners at everybody's base so that those show up on the map as well. So I've taken a quick pit stop at my base to craft up a bunch of banners, and I'm going to name them all after everyone who's currently got some sort of base setup, as well as label the main spawn island. My inventory is way too full to hold all these. I really need to get myself organized. This is atrocious. So we're going to just start over at Tokyo's base here, and we're going to, I think, put these under people's nether portals. That way it's the most accurate representation of where you can get to their base from. We're just going to hide this over here with some mycelium, dirt, good. Okay, now somewhere over here was Tokyo, and she was asking me for my opinion on a couple things. Let's see if we can find her. Ah, there she is. What one looks better? So spruce, I don't mind strip spruce, but I don't like the green tinge to it. Dark oak is definitely more my favorite of the stripped logs. But I do like, I like oak. I like oak stripped as well. You could always do kind of a gradient thing, but if you're just going for a contrast, I would say oak to dark oak. I do like spruce in its non-stripped form, kind of for outlining and edging and stuff, but I would say overall, stripped dark oak next to stripped oak, to me, looks the best. So I realized I didn't actually get the name on the map here. I totally forgot to hit the banner with the map. Okay, now we actually have her base showing up on the map, and we're just going to cover this back up here. I'm sure the mycelium will spread to it eventually. I spent a few hours on stream going from base to base and placing down banners and adding them to the maps. Sometimes it was a little tricky to decide where I was going to put people's banners because their nether portals didn't always make the most sense for it. And it's really cool to see how people's bases have evolved from when we first started the server and where everyone ended up settling down to. I'm looking forward to coming back in a few months from now and maybe adding more people to this map and see how people spread out even further. This area isn't even the full extent of the world border. I did the math, and in order to see the entire world, I would need to make a map wall that was 6x6 and zoomed out all the way, so you can imagine just how small everything would show up on that map. And that may be something I'd do at a later date, potentially a fun little project before we expand the border when 1.19 gets released. Wow, Mayday has a full-on castle going on over there. I'm going to just put it over here under his nether portal because He also has the shop over here currently, and it might be more useful for people to come to this spot. Oh man, I can't believe how much Vic has done. I'm going to put her banner in her basement because she said she's going to eventually move her nether portal and make a whole nother like building for it. I really enjoy the theme she's going with, this Japanese kind of area. It's funny, her and Tokyo have a similar vibe going on, but Tokyo's is a little bit more mystical. And last but not least, and I don't know if this thing is ever going to get done, this is Clone's B base. We're just going to toss it somewhere under here because he doesn't have another portal. And I think he's probably going to end up moving somewhere else in the long run. Well, I finally got everybody's bases onto the map. And you can see here, it's actually covering quite a good area. I got a few more to do, but there are all of the different bases. This in total, where we are right now, maybe took like 2-3 hours, but everybody's on here. So this is actually the last map that I have to fill in, and I came across this ginormous Mooshroom Island. This thing is huge, and wow, that is also a really huge ruined portal. This is kind of inspiring. I may want to come back here and do something with this at some point. It is just massive. I don't think I've ever seen one this big before. It's really cool. I wonder if there's anything interesting over here. Nothing. Garbage. Okay, let's get back to mapping out this last map. Well, it's done. The map wall is complete. I finished the last ones. This is that giant Mooshroom Island. This is the center bit. That right there, that is the main island where everybody is on, and a little bit of the surrounding smaller islands. I think this fit pretty well in this space, but can you imagine how far out this is going to be if I do end up doing the entire world border? Man, this is nuts. Well, okay, with this done, it's time for one last project for the day. We're going to do a little bit of redstone stuff, and this is going to be a little bit of a trial for me because I've never built what I'm about to build. So what I want to do is kind of clean up this area with all this dripstone over here. We have the dripstone lava section right here, and then we also have just the regular dripstone farm there. My goal is to get rid of this, and I have a spot I'm going to move it to. I've marked out this area over here where we're going to have the two different farms. And this first one is going to be the dripstone lava farm. And I think the way to do this is kind of like a piston feed tape. I'm going to put down the pistons at the four corners, and this is going to move the cauldrons around as I remove the lava from a specific cauldron I'm standing in front of. I'm going to start by just testing out the feed tape mechanic by doing a delayed circuit to each of the pistons, each with a different tick. And we're going to remove this wool right here, and the observer should push it around. Okay, I think that worked. Okay, cool. Now, the next part of this is actually detecting when the cauldron is filled, or in my case, removed. And I believe a comparator will give an output. Yeah, okay. So this will tell me when I'm actually removing the, well, lava from the cauldron itself. Now this next bit I had a slight bit of help with. I wanted to hide the redstone in the front. So I'm using target blocks, which I actually haven't used too often before. And this is going to enable me to send the redstone signal directly to the piston without having to use the repeaters up here. And I should be able to hide all this. And if I just throw down some redstone dust here, I should be able to actually do this without the need for as many repeaters as I was using. I just got to get the delay right between each of them. I think that's right. Let's just cover this in a little bit and try this out. So we put some water in the bucket. We make sure everything is timed out right. And then we will remove the water from the cauldron once we get the cauldrons in the right order. So we remove the water and it pushes everything around. There was a slight issue with how that worked. I'm going to switch this to a faster pulse using this observer detecting the signal coming from the comparator. And hopefully this should change the firing of the pistons. Let's try this. That didn't work. Why didn't that work? Maybe it's not connected up to the pistons? Oh, derp. Okay, let's put this under the cauldron and through and actually connect it up appropriately this time. Got to come up to that repeater. Let's try this again. we remove this cauldron, put it over here, and now we remove the water from this cauldron and fire push up. Okay, great. Let's try this again now with everything in place. That kind of works. There's still something weird about it. Oh, am I missing a cauldron? I think I'm missing a cauldron over here, and the timing is still a little off. It's pretty close though. I think it's enough to start getting this thing overall built and putting in the lava and the dripstone above it. Let's build that and try it out, shall we? Okay, so we've got everything put together here. I put in the appropriate amount of cauldrons now, and I've let the farm run, and all the cauldrons, as you can see, are filled in with lava. And above it, you can kind of see, oh, barely. Up there is where the lava is above the dripstone. Comes down, fills these, and then I grab a bucket, boop. It all gets cycled around, and then I can take this bucket. Still a double fire thing, that's weird. But I could take this bucket, put it in my furnace over here, and smelt whatever I'm smelting, which right now is glass for next week's episode. And that's pretty much working. Not bad, not too difficult. A lot of help from Merp to get this working. And that over there is where I moved the actual dripstone farm to. I'm going to automate that at some point. And you can see here, the back section of redstone I still have exposed, but nobody's going to see that because eventually I'll have some sort of building covering this. It's just the front over here that I'm glad is covered by the cauldrons. But that's about all the time we have for today. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me. This was a bit of an all over the place episode, but glad you stayed with me to the end. And if you liked the episode, don't forget to drop a like. And if you haven't already, subscribe. And I will see you guys next week. Bye for now.